Hello everyone. Today I'm talking from my brassica tunnel. That's what I call this, and I'm going to explain a little bit of what it is. It didn't work out in its best form this year, but I think it's still going to turn out amazing. So again, another keep getting these April cold days when I decide to come out here, but basically what has happened this year in 2024 is I live in southeastern Indiana in zone 6B, and the beginning of this month was a little too warm to um, we got some 90-degree days. uh, didn't want to put my brassicas out till I knew the temperature was going to drop, or as soon as they came up and more mature they were going to go straight to seed. So I kind of, and my peas wouldn't have come up at all. They need about 50 degrees to germinate. So, and I do those by seed. So I didn't get started on this. So what this is in my particular climate, I don't do well with brassicas. Your cauliflowers, your broccoli, your your Brussels sprouts, all that kind of stuff. I don't do the best with those plants because you have to basically hold a temperature no more than 70 degrees for 8 weeks. And here it's like false spring, false summer, false winter. Every week is a different season in our spring here in Indiana. So I had to come up with an idea. Now I'm going to tell you of two other YouTubers you're going to want to go check out who gave me the inspiration for my Brassica tunnel. First, M.I. Gardner. He's in Michigan, and he has a lot of growing guides. And that's where I really learned a lot about broccoli and cauliflower and the ideal requirements to make it grow. Because I've just never been successful. It's never been something I've really grown in my garden, but I've always wanted to. And for the past 3 years, I've been really, really trying to figure out how to make it work. And I have to say, I think I did. Um, and so I really went there. I'm not going to go into how you plant them and everything. Go check out his videos. He is amazing. I love his videos and I love his seeds. So also check out his seed store. The other YouTuber is the Homesteading Family, and they're in Idaho in a very cold climate. So they grow brassicas beautifully, but what they don't grow is those summertime vegetables that need a lot of time, like your tomatoes, your peppers, that sort of stuff. And what they created was something called a bean tunnel. They would grow their beans on trellises to make a dome. And that dome, kind of inside that tunnel, would hold a temperature so they could get those things that need a longer summertime to grow out inside of there. I thought, can I do that in reverse? So in my cattle paddle tunnel here, what I'm growing, and I showed you some footage of that, is peas, snow peas along the side. And they trellis up the tunnel and they make a nice barrier between my plants and the sun, and they kind of stabilize the temperature through this tunnel. And then inside the tunnel, I showed you some footage of my brassicas. Now, my brassicas are coming up because they're loving this cold, and a little faster this year than the peas. I usually get the peas in about 3 weeks before I even plant brassicas, but because of those temperatures, even the things that I decided to plant, just like I'm just going to plant them, didn't come up to the stuff I planted when it dropped down to 50 because it needs 50 degrees to germinate. So I really have a low start this year on my peas. But by the forecast, we are going to keep this cold weather for long enough that I think those peas will get up and start blocking the hot temperatures from my broccoli still in time. My broccoli, I have broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts in here. I'm putting cabbage in a different spot, and I'm going to shade it out with kale. Um, to try to keep it shaded from the sun once this turns hot so it doesn't go to seed so quickly. So one thing about gardening that you want to do, and I might do a whole video on talking about what you want as a gardener, what are the steps you want to take to kind of solve these different problems. Um, and one of the things you want to do is really watch your plants. Spend a year growing plants just for a summer snacking garden. Don't try to can enough of everything for your family. And just watch them and see what they like. Do they like cold temperatures? Do they like hot temperatures? When do they go to seed? Things like that. Just sitting out in your garden and observing every single day in every single type of weather is probably the best way to learn how to be a gardener. Luckily, I had a father who was amazing at growing vegetables and perennials, and a mother who loved to grow flowers. And all they would do is sit there and say to me things like, "You see how the rain falls on that plant? It needs a little bit more help. Let's build a little trench." And you'll see me doing that when I garden. If I do some videos of me gardening, I'll build little trenches to keep the water at certain places where it just seems to be running off when it needs that water, especially things like strawberries where you basically got a flood. So, um, taking some time when you start your garden to kind of observe gardening is more of a skill than any YouTube channel. It's more of a teacher than any YouTube channel. So this year, if you haven't yet, go out, get some seeds, just put them in the ground, and just watch them. See what they do. Make notes about what they like, what type of sun they like, when do they brighten up, when do they curve their leaves, stuff like that. All right, I'll see you all in the next video.